Bennington mill sweater from 1970. If you watched The Big Lebowski and The Dude, this is the original thing, so I thought I'd do that. And then this shirt I bought to support some musicians and actually crew that were working with musicians during COVID because it was a tough time. And I thought tonight, let's change it and support. Here we go. Let's support live comedy. Big hand to Brian and everybody on the waiters and waitresses. We should be tipping them. We're working hard tonight. It's great to be here at the Spectrum Entertainment Complex. Are they going to change the name of that to Corwell? It's Corwell. I'm from Detroit, and Beaumont is now Corwell. They spent 30 years building, do you have a Beaumont doctor? And now it's Corwell. I don't know, the name doesn't resonate with me. Spending $4 million to change the signs and the lanterns. That would buy some critical NICU equipment, which is what I sell instead of the goddamn agent. But I came all the way from Detroit. I want to start off by saying my name is Bert Green, and my pronouns are bourbon and regret. I want to thank Brian and Spectrum for paying for my gas and hotel and me. Oh, no, that's awkward. They're not paying for any of that stuff. But Jason, I've been driving from Detroit to Grand Rapids for almost 30 years in my sales job, and some things have changed and some things haven't. Jason brought it up, goddamn construction, literally every day. I was just thinking to myself as I was driving today on Sunday afternoon, didn't they just repave this in 1990? Guess it's time again. One thing that has changed is the billboards when you're driving from Detroit to Grand Rapids. It's basically just beer and cannabis. I'm thinking when the conservative Dutch founders of Grand Rapids were thinking of what the city would be known for in the 21st century, beer! So many different kinds of beers and stouts and chocolate ales and hazy IPAs. You guys know what IPA stands for, don't you? I pee a lot when I drink it, I can tell you that. But, it's really great to be here. The cannabis thing has really changed. Cannabis billboards, they've got delivery cannabis. Now they've got drive-through cannabis. What could possibly go wrong with that? And they're putting fast food joints next to the cannabis shops, which makes a lot of sense. Taco Bell or fried chicken and things like that. I want to open up my own fried chicken franchise. It's only open on Sundays, and it's called Chick-fil Atheist. Thank you very much. My name is Bert, and my pronouns are Golden Doodle and two-factor authentication. So recently, HBO Max changed their name. They shortened it from HBO Max just to Max. Let's hope that Peacock Network doesn't do the same thing anytime soon. Now this is a free show, this is comedy gold, but if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back at the end of the show. I'm a Jewish comedian, so after the show I'll go back to East Grand Rapids. But I want to do some traditional more humor, so I'm going to tell a couple classic jokes of a vaudevillian style variety. A couple of old men are sitting on a park bench, they're widowers, they're lonely, Mort and Saul. Saul says to Mort, if I only had a woman. Mort goes, what are you looking for, woman? Saul goes, I'm looking for three things. I'm looking for this, I'm looking for this, and I'm looking for this. Saul goes, I understand. You're looking for a woman with brains, right? And you're looking for a woman with money, right? But arthritis? This next joke will be an audience participation joke. This is not heckling. I will encourage you to give some answers. You can all just shout out the answers when you go. Name a bird that represents American strength and power. Very good. Name a bird that represents wisdom. An owl. Very good. Name a bird from the Bible that represents peace and love. A dove. Name a bird that represents true love. A swallow. Thank you so much. I'd like to give you applause. I did bring some notes with me because I was afraid to laugh so hard that I'd lose my place. Oh, dad jokes. We got some dad jokes. Segue to that. I am a dad. We'll talk about my daughter in just a minute. One of the first dad jokes. My neighbors have a couple of Dobermans. They're named Rolex and Timex. They're watchdogs. I was on Animal Planet, and they put on a documentary about beavers. God, it was the best damn show I ever saw. So I've been married for 25 years. My wife could not be here tonight, so if you want want to swing by the JW Marriott? She won't care. She asked me, what do I want for our 25th wedding anniversary? And I said, power of attorney. I was driving home. My daughter is a beautiful daughter. She goes to the University of Maryland, and she's studying audiology and hearing sciences. And every time we go out in public, she tells people what she's studying. I say, what? I also do some ASL. We were driving home from Maryland. It was a 9-hour drive. We were listening to music, and the song Pumped Up Kicks came on the radio. It's, Foster the People. And by the way, it's an important Sunday night when I'm wearing my dress New Balance. These are not fancy. These are not my 40-year-old version. These are the fancy New Balance. So anyway, the Pumped Up Kicks song, and I said to my daughter, it is such a happy song about school kids and their new shoes and they're running and they're so happy. She goes, Dad, I go, what? She goes, that's not what that song is about. Pumped Up Kicks is about fucking mass shooters and school shootings and kids running with their shoes on. And oh my God, I'm just so bad at song lyrics and song titles and things like that. Cake by the Ocean is not eating cake by the ocean. I did not know that. It involves sand and sex, but I did not know that. And watermelon sugar high? Not about eating watermelon. Nobody told me that. Okay, I guess it's about oral sex. Again, one of those things I don't really remember. But it is Pride Week. I don't want to talk about anything political too much, but I do have a candidate for president that would win, Taylor Swift. Oh my God, what she's doing across there in Chicago tonight and in Detroit next week, maybe Ted Lasso, the VP, it would be a great world. But it is Pride Week. I think love is love. We should all support one another. LGBTQ+. I just want to be the plus sign because I think that's the most positive one to be. But my daughter has this friend, and they are fluid. And I said to myself, my God, I would like to be fluid. Not in the sexual sense, but my prostate. My God, it comes out of this. Mine's Mercury up in Detroit. Thank you all so much. Vote for me. Hashtag.
Here's the good news. Good news is, right now, each one of you is as smart as you're ever going to be. The bad news is that my 7.5-minute set is going to suck the IQ points right out of your heads. Enjoy where you're at right now. I had a brand new set all done for tonight. I mean, I worked on it. And last minute, I had to change a part because I saw somebody come in and just a stunning person, and there's no way I'm going to be able to remember a new set, and it's you right here.
Marla.
This would be you, Marla. Yeah, so Marla, you are stunning. Like I said. Back in my hood, we would have called you a dish. But I started comedy working for the USO back in World War II.
Wow.
And when we were doing a show, if we saw a dish like Marla, we would actually stop the show, we would point her out, and then we would serenade her. So, yeah. So, just for old time's sake, I think that's what I'm going to do here. And I know that you probably enjoy it. Marla, real quick, who's your favorite musical artist and song title? And I've got 7 minutes. I can do that. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Some enchanted you will find a stranger. Actually, you will see a stranger across a crowded. Look at me now. Across a crowded. I can't do this. I'm sorry. I can't do this, Marla. these hold your applause to the end. So I can't do that. But let me tell you a little something about my wife and what it is I would be giving up if you and I were to go off Gallivan tonight. My wife, about a year ago, lost all of her fingers in a bandsaw accident at work. And actually, I can see on your face, sir. I know what you're thinking. I know what every guy in here is thinking right now. I know because I've been a guy for most of my life. You're thinking, well, a bandsaw accident? What's next? Yeah, well, just hold your horses and you'll know what's next. So what happened is, she lost her first finger in the bandsaw, and then she reached in to get that one.
You ain't get all that. It's like knocking on my door. You know what I'm saying? So, are you okay? big numbers and shit. Fast forward to adulthood, I'm like, fuck, close enough. You know what I'm saying? Close enough. But yeah, that's what really got me. And like, it's crazy how everything intertwines. Like, I was at work the other night, and like, we got busy as shit. Like, the lobby was packed, right? And there's all these people coming in throughout the city late night who don't want to be seen. Well, I see them. I see them. You know? And one of them happened to be a teacher that my son had. And this is what's crazy, is I've never met this teacher, I've never seen her. My son tells me that he gets in trouble because when he's like feeling stressed out, I don't know, these kids got safe phones and shit now or some shit, I guess. But when he's stressed out, he like goes to this teacher, and she's like the Spanish teacher or some shit. Like, he don't even speak Spanish. So I'm like, bro, what class you got her for? Well, he doesn't have her. And I found out why when she came in and I scanned her ID, and she was like, you look like one of my students. And I said, well, my name is Josh. She said, that's what I thought. You look like my son. I said, who are you? She said, I'm his Spanish teacher. I said, oh, really? Let me serenade you like I used to do back in the day. No, I'm just kidding. But no, the thing about it was like, I realized why my son goes to that class. It's not because he needs a safe room. I'm like, they need to keep his ass locked up. That's what the fuck it is. Man, that boy horny as hell, little teenager. Hey, I'll tell the truth, I ain't gonna lie. But this is the thing, like, realizing that, like, I started paying attention more when my kids say shit, because, like, it's like speaking in code and shit. But, like, I know when I first lost my virginity, like, my mom called my phone, she was like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. Wasn't lying, never lied to my mom, ever. And it was funny, because I was like, I'm on my way, I'm gonna be there in like a half hour. She called back like 45 minutes later. Asked me what I was doing. I did not lie to my mother when I told her I was coming. So, knowing this, I started paying attention to what my kids say. And like, my oldest son, he's a basketball freak. You know, he loves basketball shit. I guess he made the team this year, and I didn't make it to none of his games, but he came home one day and he was like, Dad, you gotta come to my game. Last game, halftime buzzer beater, I had a half-court shot. I was like, you had a half-court shot? He was like, yeah, next game, I'm trying to dunk you. I was like, cool, what's your jersey number? I'm gonna come support. He's like, 24. I'm like, cool, Kobe, rocking with it. Well, I get to the game, and he didn't start. You know, I didn't see my son nowhere. I'm like, okay, I done spent this money on this jersey, and did all this shit, boy, he lied to me, I don't even play. And halftime comes around. And the fucking Bearcat mascot comes out wearing a 24. I ain't gonna lie, I was talking so much shit prior to this game. I'm telling all my homies and shit, hey, my son said he dunking next game. He hitting half-court shots that Curry on his mother. Yeah, they all showed up to the game too. All of them. But for his benefit, I would say he did hit the half-court shot. But when he tried to do the dunk, like they had a little trampoline and shit, and like, the nigga ain't ever jumped on the trampoline, and then it's like, we broke, we ain't got that shit in the backyard. But it's like, I thought he had it for a second, like, boing, it kind of went up. And then he kind of spun a little bit and came down, and I was like, Kobe. And my friend didn't do it, y'all didn't get that. You get everything, I know you do that. Y'all know who Kobe is? Oh, y'all just sensitive, my bad. But I thought it was funny because he hit the ground. My daughter started laughing, and then it was crazy. Like, the way carpet works, I was scared to drive home. I ain't gonna look up. That's real. But it's been years, man. But my point is, when I pay attention to my kids, I started realizing everything is a little different. It's not just that. Like, did anybody go see the new Little Mermaid movie? Ooh, that movie's crazy. I will say it's great. It is, and the reason I say that is because I smoke before I see everything. And the thing that really got me about that movie is, like, it was this big commotion about, like, how there was, like, a black mermaid and shit, right? And I don't get too into that, but when I watched the movie, as a high person, it kind of made sense to have that black girl in that movie. It did. The reason I say that is because when she was looking up at that boat with all them white folks talking about part of your world, and then she got on land and got her legs and shit and couldn't run, I was like, that's what you get. See, you didn't read your books. But with that being said, my name is Mr. Yes, I said it.
Struggling to find a hole. Yeah, you wanna handle my stick for me for a second? Shove it in the hole for me. My wife does that all the time. Brian's been hanging out with my wife too much. Called me out for coming early. Hey, don't bogart my stick. Shove it in the hole. So, like Brian said, my name is John Couchy, and unfortunately, yes, I was named after two places you sit. But unfortunately, that's not where my shitty name ends. I have one of those last names that a substitute teacher will never forget. They look at that attendance sheet and they salivate. Mr. Coochie! Is Mr. Coochie here? Right here. But he keeps going. I'm hanging out in college with my two buddies, Nick and Shocker. We go out to the bar. And every time I say one of their names, the other one starts cracking up. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, guys, what's the inside joke here? And Shocker goes, well, Nick, do you know what your name means in Arabic? Your name means fuck. Nick's just sitting there with a cheeky-ass grin on his face, like, yeah, it does. He goes, do you know what your name means in English? Tells him all about the Shocker. And I'm sitting there going, fuck, you guys got cool names. Shocker, what's my name mean in Arabic? John? It basically means dry. So, not only am I toilet sofa, I'm dry coochie. Well, I do have to call out a comic from earlier saying that I was drinking a little too much. That's mainly because he saw me walk into a wall, and I swear that's a drunk in me, not the blind in me, I swear. But, let's be honest, you guys are all thinking the same thing. We want to know about your big stick. It's 56 inches, by the way. Well, I made that joke before, and this lady came up to me after the show, and she goes, you know, a woman can't handle 56 inches. I don't know what the point of your joke was. Excuse me? I'm gesturing at my cane. She goes, yeah, a woman's cervix is only like this big. I'm like, lady, do you really think I have a 56-inch dick? I have a 29-inch inseam. That thing is going to be dragging on the floor all day. Can you imagine the lower back pain? Like, fuck. I'm 5'6" with a 56-inch dick. Like, fuck, when that thing comes up, I'm springing out of the bed. I mean, let's be honest though, I would have made a killing during the pandemic. Best prostitute on the planet. Social distance, no problem. I don't care if it's a guy or a girl at the other end, I can only see 3 feet in front of me, so let's just go. Bend over and we'll call it a day. But I'm what you call legally blind. And don't mind me, I have been drinking a bit, so I did bring a note card. I don't think I wrote it big enough though. So I'm what you call legally blind, which is, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term, it's something that pisses me the fuck off, because anytime I say I'm legally blind, there's some jackhole who has glasses and walks up to me and goes, yeah, I'm legally blind too if it wasn't for these things. Well, let's see, the standard for legally blind is a standard for vision in your better eye with best correction. If you're wearing glasses, that's like walking up to a homeless person going, hey, I'm homeless too, if it wasn't for my home. But I lost my sight at age 12, which confused the fuck out of my parents because I was sighted until then, my dad had no idea how to deal with that. Now, we did your normal father and son activities. We played catch. I refer to it as fetch. But whenever we played catch fetch, it would always end the same way. With him yelling at me, "Don't be afraid of the ball!" Fuck, Dad, it's kind of hard not to. It actually appears right here. I got enough time to flail. But my dad learned how to stop complaining about it when he started taking me to sporting events. Because he'd walk right up to customer service and go, "Hey, these nosebleed seats I bought for like 10 cents on the dollar are not easily accessible for my blind child." "Not a problem, sir. We'll move you up to like 5th row from the floor." He had a great time. Didn't affect me in the slightest. My mother had a different approach to it. She was going to be that Mother Teresa figure in my life, and she was going to help me through it all. She was going to be there by my side. We all had that type of mother, right? No, just me. Sorry about you guys. Well, she would go, "I'm going to help you through this thing." We were in an apple orchard once, and she goes, "I want to try something. Close your eyes. I'm going to direct you with only my voice." Yeah, this is going to end up horribly. She goes, "Okay, walk straight, turn right. Good, see, this is easy." Some of you are impressed that I got right. Well, she goes, "Okay, let's get a little more difficult now. Turn left, walk straight, keep going." And at this time, 2 things happened. One, my mother got distracted. By what? I don't know, a fucking apple orchard. Clearly, she was not paying attention to her dumbass kid walking with his eyes closed. The second thing that happened is the oncoming hayride did not see the dumbass kid walk out from the trees with his eyes closed. And that, my friends, is the story of the first time I got hit by a car. I wish I could say that was the first time, but I had to do way too many sobriety tests every time I walked through a parking lot. Those fucking parked cars come out of nowhere. But to be fair, if I was a cop, I would check a guy and make him do a test if he walked the 5 parked cars and 3 of them were the same car. But really, being blind is not so bad. I mean, what guy wouldn't trade being able to read print, identify color, and see facial expressions for a really big stick? Seems like a simple payoff. This thing is absolutely great. I get to cut lines everywhere. If I'm at Disney or bars, I get to the front of the line every time. If you don't believe me about the bars, if I'm not getting served, I just walk behind the bar. That bartender will run right up to me and go, "Excuse me, sir, do you need help?" I'm like, "Well, yes, I'll have a Crown and Coke, please."